beginning to feel the pace here. They look well up for it, Saxo Tinkoff, don't they? They really want to keep this one at a high pace. Look at the way it's all shed bodies here, Sean. They're scattered all over the place now.
Yes, we can see there that group of what 45 riders max. It's just blowing to pieces, and I'm not surprised. We can see the Saxo Bank the way they're pushing on, and we can see Contador slipped back a little bit there. He's probably back in the 8-10 position. Valverde has moved up in front of him, as a number of other riders have, and Joaquim Rodriguez is also up there, and he is. I think that's the tactic, to see what way they are performing, how they're following the pace being set, and that's what you've got to do. When you see a rider from behind, you know if he's starting to suffer a bit, as we can see Gissing here.
Yep. Oh, look at this. They're all in groups down the mountains. They're strung out like a 70s rock star. All down the slope. Robert Haysink in trouble. Bolka Mollema up ahead of him. Probably Lawrence Tendam as well, as Alberto Losada goes under the 7 kilometers to go banner. And just plugging away as best he can. And is that Igor Anton with him? Not at all sure, actually. Now, the best of the finishers a couple of days ago in the very steep climb wasn't Anton, it was Vertigo from Euskaltel. Gorka Vertigo. It's not that far back either at 8 minutes and 13 seconds. Ahmed Cheruka, Jan Bakelens and Juan Manuel Garate are being caught. Garate, looking over his shoulder to see where his team leaders are, will very soon notice, Sean, that Robert Haysink is not in this group.
He'll be saying, what's happening here? Where are my teammates?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Who am I working for now? I don't see any of the others there either, frankly. Valverde, you can see in the polka dots there, just behind, just next to Joaquim Rodriguez. Where is a Rabobank jersey? I think they're going backwards. There is Igor Anton. Ahmed Cheruka now attacking onto the back of this. Now that may help Anton if Cheruka's still got anything in the legs left. Ooh, Rafael Mike has been sat there for ages doing work. Look at the cadence that Chris Froome's pedalling at 181 there. He's not got little boy gears on, he's got gears you use with stabilizers on. He's unbelievably small gear. Nicholas Roach just ahead of our two Euskaltel men, still hanging in there, and Micah is going to just bury himself completely here. Under a minute. Alberto Contador. How much longer can Micah keep this up? Oh, Losada is... Oh, it's gone out the legs here. You can see he's fighting the bike. You don't even have to see the body to see that the language is like, oh, now. Oh, that hurts. Oh, oh, ah, ah, oh, oh, ah. Let's not do too much of that, thanks. 10%. We all know how that feels, don't we? You go out on a Sunday morning with the lads and there's somebody just a little bit too keen to go up the hills. Ahmed Cheruka is slipping off the back. There's no help for Igor Anton there. There was no help for Valverde from Javier Moreno.
It's every man for himself.
It is.
You can see Montfort there also, just starting to lose contact with this main group of favourites.
Tomasz Marcinski still riding up towards the front. I think. Looks like him, or it could be Rouge. Oh, has our Polish man disappeared off the front? I think he has. I think that Rafał Majka has disappeared. And they're still trying to keep the pace as stiff as possible, and the group has gone down to what, about 15 riders, Sean?
Yes, I think maximum 15, as we can see. Mike is just coming back here. It's surprising that he went off the rear and able to make it back in here to the tail end of this group of about 15 riders.
Daniel Moreno still keeping a sort of bouncing rhythm going on. Rosada, with 5.5 kilometers to go, he's managed to struggle through a little bit of the nasty section. But only 42 seconds of an advantage. I mean, he's just going to bury himself now, Sean. That's about all he can do.
Well, I think he's been doing that for quite a while. We could see on the steep section there he was suffering quite a lot and giving it close to everything, giving it 100%. Now it's a little bit easier, the section there. He looks a bit more comfortable, but with that advantage of just over 40 seconds with still 5 kilometers to go, we can see there the advantage he's got. And you know, the moment anybody attack out of this group of favourites, well, that's just going to come down. In a kilometre they could close that down if they start attacking each other out of this group of maximum 15.
Yep. There's another 8 or 9 trying desperately to hang on, and they're all looking at each other saying, come on, give us a hand, lads. Not going to happen, I'm afraid. You can see who is in there. Paulo Terralongo is in there. Oh, now I think Tendam, Lawrence Tendam is in this group, and Eros Kapecki just off the back. Tendam making the effort to try and get across to this front group, but it's causing a lot of damage, this Saxo Tinkoff train at the front, Sean. They just keep looking over the shoulder, pushing as hard as possible, and one by one, some of the guys who could possibly threaten are being tailed off here.
Yes,
Rabobank, big losers, big losers here.
Yes, you know, all the Rabobank guys in difficulty, and Tendam seems to be the one is, you know, the closest at the moment, which is surprising. I thought he would have difficulty today in the longer climb.
One man left. Last man standing for Saxo Tinkoff. And Contador has very wisely dropped back to behind Valverde and Rodriguez, Sean. He's waiting. He's like a coiled watch spring now. Come on, Lawrence. The Wookiee is trying to make his way up to the back of the group. He is the best placed man from Rabobank. Robert Haysink has gone backwards. Robert Haysink has basically chucked the anchor out the back of the saddle, and that's it. He's gone. Boko Mollema, nowhere to be seen. Mollema just disappeared at the moment. And Lawrence Tendam is now carrying the hopes of Rabobank. He's got to get across to this group if he can, but you can't work it any harder than you can work it, Sean. If you overstretch yourself on a climb like this, especially with 2 more days to come, it's curtains, really.
Well, I think you know, it's interesting to see the way Tendam is riding quite strong there. In the steeper section, he probably lost contact, and when it drops a little bit, the percentage of the climb, well, then he is able to, you know, come back a bit, but it's going to be difficult to see him able to make contact with the leaders.
Rosada with the profile of the stage stuck to the stem, handlebar stem, and just a single man. Perez again, I think, has come to the front to do work. There's Joaquin Rodriguez. He looks comfortable, doesn't he? But so does Valverde behind him. And then Sergio Henao of Sky. when this man peels off, Sean, I think there's going to be a big burst of activity. Saxo Tinkoff just keeping the pace on and on and on and on strong. But when they lose that last man in the last 4 kilometers or so, then I think they'll all start looking at each other. Will there be an easing up of pace, do you think, just very slightly as they look at each other and see who's going to go?
Well, I think when the last man from Tinkoff peels off, as we can see Tindam here,
he's made it,
making it back in on this a little bit of an easier section. If Contador does not attack when his last man finishes the job, which they've been doing all day, it's a sign that he's not feeling that well, because we're getting into the final 4 kilometers. It is the point where they have to start really attacking each other, and Contador is the moment his last man is finished with this very fast pace setting, he has to try and attack and see what the reaction will be from the others. But sometimes it's another rider who won the attack. Valverde, you can see him there. Also Rodriguez, his tactic in this race has been really good, and he's attacked at times when we did not expect him to do it. Will he be again today? Will he try something in this final? Because he's getting to the part of the stage now, 4 kilometers to go. We know that he can do that 2-3 kilometers very well. He can hang on in there, but it all depends on how you're feeling after a very difficult day. And on this climb right from the beginning, the pace had been real fast by Saxo Bank.
The men who really benefited from this today will be Joaquim Rodriguez and Alejandro Valverde. It's amazing how much work the Saxo Tinkoff boys have put in. Valuta. 3.5 kilometers to go only for Alberto Losada. You can almost sense the top of this mountain, the Puerta de Ancares, just looming up ahead of him. But I'm sorely afraid, Alberto, that today is not going to be your professional victory either, because there's just 20 seconds separating you and what's left of this group here. Look at this, more work coming in from Saxo Tinkoff. This is the prelude, Sean. They're teeing this one up now. They're teeing it up.
Yes, well, this is almost a sprint here, as we can see, and gaps appearing very, very quickly, and it'll be interesting to see. This guy isn't, he's just launching Contador into the attack.
But as you say, Valverde's been very clever. He's been very strong. He's on with him already. Didn't need any other riders around him. These two have now pushed ahead a little bit. Good riding by Daniel Moreno to bring Joaquim Rodriguez up to the wheel, and they slowed up. They made a little bit of a gap, but they've slowed up just a little bit. Now the push has to come from Sky behind to try and get Christopher Froome back up. Sergio Heno is the man leading the little trio of Sky riders with Froome at the back. You can tell him instantly he's the tallest of the guys, but he also has a habit of looking down a lot over the handlebars. And Valverde senses that they've got the chance to pull out a little bit more time if they possibly can. There's still a little bit of hesitation here, Sean. Contador's seen the other guys go up to him. They've shed a few men here. Igor Anton being one of them. They're just gradually... There's another Talansky in this group. Tendam, and there's Froome, just ahead of Lawrence Tendam. They can see that Froome is under pressure. He was a bit under pressure a couple of days ago. He said he's feeling tired. They're tightening the screw on the British rider, and it's Valverde who's doing most of the tightening in the moment.
Yes, and we can see here Valverde is just working at it, keeping the pace real high, and Rodriguez, he looked comfortable there with Moreno setting the pace for him, but now as Contador comes across to the wheel of Valverde, Rodriguez not reacting immediately, and that's not a good sign. And they all can feel that. We can see here Rodriguez is just coming back at his own pace, and sometimes if you're a little bit off your best, it's the way to do it. I
think Contador's just about to go again. He's cut away, but there he goes. Look, you can just see him standing on the pedals, and that's it, another upping of the pace. Valverde seems to be able to match him. Rodriguez not panicking, getting up to the wheel. Not an instantaneous move, Sean, but he has been able to make it up there. The thing is he waiting just enough to letting exactly what we did the other day, letting the other guys burn themselves out. Let Contador push the pace up once, twice, 3 times. If you can match him, if you can get up there, get to the wheel, and watch Contador just burn himself out, then you've got something to kick at the end. He's been very good at playing that card so far, but at the moment, the big loser here is Christopher Froome. He is suffering on a climb that really should suit his characteristics.
Yes, well, he should be much closer to the general classification men, and of course, you know, he can see that Valverde is just, you know, going away from him, but not able to react at all, and looks to be in difficulty here. And the interesting thing is with Rodriguez, is he just, you know, playing the game, bluffing a bit, leaving, you know, leaving the gap, you know, 3-4 bike lengths when Valverde, Contador goes ahead, and allow them to burn themselves out, as you say. And you know, the bonifications here is going to be important, because if you take Rodriguez to the finish and, you know, bring him into that last couple of 100 meters, well, then we know the way he's capable of finishing, and this is, you know, all the way to the line, very, very steep uphill, but they're not pulling together here, a lot of looking about, and Moreno is the one who will, you know, set the pace here now. If he's capable of doing that, that's the only chance they have of holding off.
Fantastic riding by Talansky here. Look, he's seen that some of the other riders under a little bit of pressure, and is trying to move across here. Andrew Talansky 8th this morning at 5 minutes and 17 seconds. Roach is the man that he can aim at, and he wants to put time between himself and Lawrence Ten Dam, who's only 1 second down on him in 9th spot. It's a bit dangerous. He feels strong enough he can move across to the back. You saw Rodriguez just now, Sean, most unhappy that the others were messing about a bit, especially Alberto Contador, who's saying, hey, what you doing? It's not my job to lead you up here. You want to take the jersey, you come and get it.
Yes, and of course also Valverde, he's going to be looking at him, because he's the one who can move up in general classification, with Froome a little bit off the pace here.
Moreno is setting a sensible pace here, and the others are just following him a little bit on the rivet, I think, some of these other riders. Not so much Valverde. Contador actually looks a little bit uncomfortable. Talansky's dug right in there, and look at the way that Christopher Froome and the Sky boys are pacing themselves back up to the wheel. Question is, will they go again with 2 kilometers to go? I fear that they will for Christopher Froome. Moreno is just setting a little bit of pace at the moment, but they'll be aware very shortly that Froome and Nicholas Roach, Lawrence Ten Dam and so forth are coming back at them. Moreno just pushing on, and here goes Alberto Contador once again. Contador, that's a big stinger of an attack. Under 2 kilometers to go, and Contador, who I thought might have been looking as though he was suffering a little bit, has thrown everything into this one, Sean. That's a huge dig, and Rodriguez is having to force himself to come back at it. I'm not sure he's got the legs. He's lost about, what, 50, 60 meters so far? And Alberto Contador shows no signs of easing up. There's the 3 chasing riders. That was a very big attack, Sean. He's got at least, 50 meters?
Yes, it was a real big one, and he's took, you know, a big advantage very, very quickly, and we can see it's still Moreno who is setting the pace here. I think Rodriguez, the question was he playing it cleverly, using the tactic and trying, you know, get the other riders to keep on doing the pulling and get to the finish, but when he allows Contador to attack like that and not react, I think looks like Rodriguez is in a little bit of difficulty here.
You can tell him all you like, he knows he's ahead. God, bit of encouragement. Froome is fighting tooth and nail here to get back onto the wheel of Joaquim Rodriguez, and great support from the team as well. Super riding. Rigoberto Urán drags Christopher Froome up to the rear wheel of Joaquin Rodriguez and Valverde. They must have been looking at each other. Contador's on his way. The question is, have they got it? There's still time to peg him back if they can keep riding at pace. Oh, Froome has legs. Well, I did not expect that, Sean, at all.
No, well, suffering, very early in the climb and losing a little bit of ground to the other favourites, and we could see the team the way they were just trying to drag him along. It looked like that he was in difficulty, but we've seen this in the Tour of France as well, where there was a time he started to lose a little bit of ground, and then a bit further on he just seemed to get the legs, and that is a big attack, because we could see Moreno was setting quite a strong pace, but now Valverde reacts immediately as he comes back to the wheel of Christopher Froome.
Yep, Rodriguez and Valverde saying, I'm not having that, you're English interloper. The British interloper, you're not coming here to doing that to us. As Alberto Contador, when he's on the rivet, there's that little hunched feeling, and Rodriguez says, hey, anything you can do, I can do better. And Valverde goes with him once again. Now Froome, has he got the legs to respond? Valverde's got that kick in his legs. No, he hasn't. Froome's given it what he can, and I think that's it. Just got to ride at your own pace now, but that bobbing up and down of head of Christopher Froome indicates that he's a brave attack, Sean, but it didn't last too long. It was a big stinging one, but the other two responded well. He's just got to dig in now.
Yes, and we can see Valverde also in a little bit of difficulty, not able to follow Rodriguez there, and Froome is just going to have to fight real, big time again, and it's surprising that he went in the attack just after getting back in there, and when you see him in difficulty like that for Froome, he had to be suffering the earlier part, but he's not afraid to attack. The moment he got back to the guys, just put in a big attack to see what the reaction would be.
It's almost impossible to tell how close Rodriguez and Valverde are getting with all the fans knocking about, but you can just about catch a sight of Rodriguez. He's dropped Valverde here, and Rodriguez is coming back at Alberto Contador. There is Valverde, and Rodriguez has left him. Do you know what, Sean? Perito's going to catch him.
Yes, it looks like he's coming back. We can see there he's only, 7-8 metres off the wheel of Contador, as Contador digs in again, but he's coming back real strong.
That is magnificent. Joaquin Rodriguez has got to the wheel of Contador. He'll see it. Contador has seen him there, and there's not a situation Alberto Contador is used to seeing, and Rodriguez on the shoulder now and saying, hey, it's okay, I can match you. And Alberto Contador that's defeat for him. You can see, look at the body language for Alberto Contador. He has just been given a right royal kicking. He's gonna have another go, and Rodriguez says, okay, go on then, give it a go, I'll get in your wheel. Never say die, Alberto Contador, but I don't think he's gonna take this one. Rodriguez, I think, is gonna have him here. Or maybe he just might let him go. He won't let him go for the bonuses. Joaquin Rodriguez digs in deep, sprints past Alberto Contador, who's got no response for 1 bike length, 2 bike lengths, 3 bike lengths. Oh, it's bye-bye Bertie. Not only the bonus seconds, but a whole bunch of them in between. Another victory for Rodriguez, and Alberto Contador comes in another 5 seconds down. Who is going to come in next? It must be Valverde, surely. Valverde at 12 seconds. And Christopher Froome, how well did he hang in there? We could hear the announcer saying, here he comes. He's got Daniel Moreno on him. Moreno's going to jump him as well. Oh, dear. That's adding insult to injury for Christopher Froome. Moreno comes around the corner. 38 seconds, 37 seconds for Christopher Froome. 44 for Talansky. That's a great ride by Andrew Talansky to put distance between himself and the Wookiee. Lawrence Tendam will still be fighting to get up there. Great result for Tendam regardless, because he is the best placed man from Rabobank. Hesink, there he comes. Lawrence Tendam finishes at 1 minute and 4 seconds, and miles ahead of Bolka Mollema and Robert Hesink. Nicholas Roach at 1:16, just ahead of Gorka Vertigo at 1:17. Another great result for Gorka Vertigo. Contador, I'm not surprised he's pushing everybody away. I don't think he knows what's hit him. Somebody's willing to take the fight to him and show him a clean pair of heels at the end. Just look at this, look, Contador's all over the bike. And Perito just goes cruising past him, and the man of this Vuelta a España is the leader, Joaquim Rodriguez, and he plunks himself back down in the saddle. Alberto Contador knows he is well and truly whipped, Sean.
Yes, well, you could see him coming in that final 200-300 meters, and of course then he just waited for the sprint.
Oh, what a finish by Joaquim Rodriguez. Again showed that he's capable now, Sean, of just measuring his efforts to exactly the right time. He has been so clever during this year's Vuelta a España. He's always waited to exactly the right time that suits anything, that suits his characteristics. And when he's gone, he's just been unstoppable.
Yes, well, I think he's just got the form of his life, and you know, he able to make that calculation. You have to be in real good shape, because when you see the like of Contador riding away, and we did see that attack of Contador, the normal thing, you would react immediately because you get into a panic that you're not going to see him again. But you know, Rodriguez just allowed him to go in the attack, take the advantage there, and was confident that he could come back in the end, and you know, did do that.
Joaquim Rodriguez takes the win again. Alberto Contador at 5 seconds, Alejandro Valverde at 13, then Moreno at 35, Froome at 38. I made it 37, but there we are. Talansky at 44, Igor Anton 56, Lawrence ten Dam 104, Tomasz Marcinski, that's a good ride by him, 113. We know he can come home pretty well. Gorka Vertigo 117, very good as well. Niemiec, the best of the Lampre riders. Micah still right up there. Hesink comes in at 156 with Bart de Klerk of Lotto Belisol, another climbing star in the making. Bart de Klerk for Belgium. They still haven't done anything. Here we go. General classification, 22 seconds gap between Rodriguez and Contador. Froome now at 141, along with Alejandro Valverde. Moreno, the best of the rest, at 416. Hesink now at 507. And Mollema gone from the top 10. Day one of 3 massive days in the mountains to Porto Ancares here. Tomorrow is Lagos de Covadonga. Crikey, Sean, what we got in store for tomorrow?
Well, it's going to be a real interesting final, and we can see, you know, some of the general classification men losing time, other ones gaining a bit. It's going to be an interesting fight for the top 10 in general classification.
Well, extraordinary finish by Joaquim Rodriguez. Rode up to the wheel of Alberto Contador and then just showed him a clean pair of heels in the last 300 meters. Not just a little bit either, just rushed away from him. Just fantastic finish by Rodriguez. He leads this Vuelta a España still. 22 seconds ahead of Alberto Contador now. 141 ahead of Chris Froome. 141 ahead of Alejandro Valverde. Then it's Moreno, Hesink, Roche still in there. Talansky, ten Dam, and Igor Anton at the top 10.